Yo, what is going on, YouTube? My name is Billy TKO. If you guys are new here, definitely be sure to like this video. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel when you guys do. Different stratosphere. I got TikTok, Discord, Twitter, all linked down below for you guys to come be a part of the family because we are back growing. We're back doing this YouTube thing. We're back moving. So, let's go hop into the stories. Guys, today we're going to be talking a little bit about AEW, and the first story that I want to talk about is MVP. He debuted at AEW Grand Slam last night, and he interrupted Prince Nana. Now, a lot of people were like, oh, well, why did he do it in this specific moment? And I think there is a lot to it. I think the reason why they put him here is ultimately because I do think we are going to get Bobby Lashley. And if you guys listen to the crowd, like you seen MVP come out, you kind of thought that you might be getting Bobby Lashley next just to start a feud with Swerve Strickland, which would be an amazing feud, by the way. Obviously, we've heard a lot about the Hurt Syndicate. And we sadly can't get the full Hurt business because Cedric Alexander is still with the WWE. But regardless, we can get Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin along with MVP, and you can create the Hurt Syndicate, which will be absolutely outstanding. But MVP came out, interrupted Prince Nana while he was doing the whole, whose house, Swerve's house, you know what I'm saying? That whole thing. Now, with him coming out here, he cut a great promo. It was a lot of fun. But ultimately, we do think that we are probably going to see Bobby Lashley. And what would be really cool is if they did something at Wrestle Dream where, you know, you have Swerve come out, kind of talk about the whole thing with MVP. He gets attacked by Bobby Lashley. You can have Lashley play the heel. It's pretty simple. Swerve is such a babyface. People want to cheer Swerve just from how exciting he is. I know that Prince Nana actually, MVP made him to look to be a bad manager, so MVP offered to then be like, hey, I got you. I'll manage your client because he's not really getting the job done with you. So yeah, that happened last night. MVP is all elite, so you guys can let me know your thoughts on MVP joining AEW down below in the comments section. But next, we're going to be talking about the FTW Championship. Yes, on AEW Grand Slam, Hook faced off against Roderick Strong, and in this match, it was a really good match, by the way, and Roderick Strong looked very good. Hook looked really good. Ultimately, Hook walks away with the victory. Now, at the end of the match, Hook then he started speaking to Tony Schiavone. He started speaking to Tony Schiavone, and it was there where he was saying along the lines, hey, this championship has been held by great people. They've done some amazing things with this championship, but ultimately, this championship, it is time for it to go away, which I think is the right thing to do. And the reason why I say it's the right thing to do is I think AEW has put themselves in this really weird place. Like even with the Trios Championships, I look at those and I'm like, you know, at first it sounded like a good idea, but then you look at what happened to the tag division, you're like, okay, maybe we don't need to do this. Now what's happened with this title, the FTW Championship, it became like, it kind of became what the Cruiserweight Championship was back on Monday Night Raw and stuff like that. It just felt weird, and then they created the whole show around it. It was not it. But regardless of that fact, Hook hugged his dad, Taz, who was the creator of the FTW Championship. He hugged his dad, put it around him, gave it to him, and it was a beautiful moment. It really was, which I think is cool. That you had your moment with the title, you had the moment with your dad, you gave him a hug. They let Hook talk on a microphone, which is great because they need to give that guy more mic time. And ultimately, it was there where he was just happy that it happened, and you move on with the championship, and that's about it. But I want to get your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. How do you feel about the FTW Championship being retired? Me, I'm a huge fan of it. I'm happy it's gone. They got a couple more titles they got to rid, and then we can get back to going on pace for AEW. This is the thing. I want all wrestling to be good wrestling. Let me make that clear. All wrestling should be good wrestling. It just feels like AEW lacks in some departments. Now, there is one more story that I want to talk about, and this one is coming from the Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer, if you guys know. This one I found kind of interesting, so I felt like I should talk about it. AEW is no longer offering pay-per-views on Bleacher Report, so they are actually going away from Bleacher Report. If you guys are in the United States of America, that was the way that we all watched our AEW pay-per-views, or on just regular pay-per-view, whatever. But ultimately, it was always Bleacher Report. It was fairly easy, but they are going away from that market. Now, this could ultimately lead into the streaming service, which I do think eventually we are going to get. But I'm going to read this here to you guys, the article that I have pulled up, and just tell you guys exactly what it says. So, in an interview released earlier in the day, AEW head Tony Khan said the former Bleacher Report Live was sunsetting, but didn't give specifics as what that meant. During Wednesday's Dynamite Grand Slam, lead commentator Excalibur offered some clarification, stating that Bleacher Report was ending and that starting with October's Wrestle Dream, streaming pay-per-views will be only available on Triller, YouTube, and pay-per-view.com. So this is fairly interesting. For fans that have previously purchased pay-per-views on Bleacher Report, access to previously purchased events will migrate. That migration is assumed to be on Triller, which is the former Fight, which currently offers past pay-per-views for purchase in bundled options. So it's time to get to the streaming service, which ultimately I do think that we are going to be leading into here very soon. The move is the latest interesting development in the ongoing TV rights negotiations between AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns Bleacher Report. Prior to this past April's Dynasty, it was announced that the ability to buy AEW streaming pay-per-views would be expanded beyond just Bleacher Report for the first time in the company's young history. So there's that. We got that. Now, here is the thing. AEW, it is time for them to move away from the $50, $60 pay-per-views. Ultimately, if you go to Triller, I think they drop the price a little bit. I think they do kind of... Maybe. This is a long shot. Don't quote me on that. I'd like to see them drop the price because Ring of Honor, they were always like $30. That's even okay, but still a stretch. But AEW is no longer going to be holding their pay-per-views on Bleacher Report. Again, I do think this is a moving part to how we get to the Max streaming service. Because ultimately, I think that's where it happens. I think when they're on Max and they're giving their pay-per-views in a bundle on Max, I think that's when you're going to see AEW's successes really hit new peaks. I genuinely do. Because it is time. It is time. We are tired of the $50 pay-per-view structure. WWE went away from it years ago. Doesn't look like they're coming back to it anytime soon. And AEW, they did it because they were fairly new, so they had to. And it was still working in this market. But now we know about AEW. We've seen what they've done. We know that they tell great stories and things of that nature. But ultimately, I can't, me personally, keep paying that much money for these pay-per-views. That's why you only buy certain ones. But guys, that is all I have for you guys today. You guys can let me know in the comments section below how you guys feel about AEW moving away from Bleacher Report. I will have another video up here shortly with my thoughts on the Vince McMahon docuseries, because I know that is something that we've talked a little bit about on this channel. And ultimately, that is all I got for you guys today. Billy TKO, Discord, Twitter, TikTok, link down below. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.